It's Friday, November 13th, and you're watching The Great Lost Rewatch. Today we're talking about orientation. We get to meet the previously alluded to Helen. Locke is a ladies' man. Huh. I don't see it. Locke is having an extremely difficult time letting go of being conned by his father, and he stalks outside his house every single morning. Helen says it's because he's afraid of moving forward with his life, and he has to take a leap of faith and choose either her or his father, and Locke chooses her. On the island, Mr. Echo can kick some ass. The raft people are thrown into a ditch, and then a little later, a mysterious woman who we recognize as the woman that Jack talked to in the airport in the season finale. She introduces herself as Ana Lucia and says that she was in the tail section of the plane. She steals Sawyer's gun and gets lifted out of the ditch by Mr. Echo. Back at the hatch, Kate surprises Desmond with a gun, and he ends up shooting the computer, and he says that we are all going to die. Desmond tells us that he was found on the beach by a man named Kelvin, and he brought him down here, and he pushed in the numbers and said, "Oh, I'm just saving the world," and that's what he's been doing for 3 years. The end. Along the lines of Calvin, here's my question. The incident happened in the 70s, and the purge happened in the mid-80s. And we know that Calvin was in the Gulf War with Saeed, which happened in the early 90s. So who hired Calvin to put him down there to hit that button in the first place? That timeline has never made sense to me. Can someone explain that to me, please? Jack says there's no way I'm taking your word for that, and Desmond says you don't have to take my word for it. You can watch the film. Film?
Welcome. I'm Dr. Marvin Candle.
Although that's not his real name.
Dharma Initiative was created in 1970 and is the brainchild of Gerald and Karen de Groot.
They study all sorts of things from electromagnetism to zoology to paranormal sciences.
Not long after the experiments began, however, there was an incident.
I cannot tell you how happy I was when they talked about there was an incident, and we now know what the incident was.
Every 108 minutes, the button must be pushed.
I couldn't even begin to guesstimate and put into numerical form how many times I watched this orientation video. Because that's right when YouTube was becoming a big thing, so I immediately searched for someone posting that on there and favorited it and watched it over and over and over again. And Jack yells at Desmond, "Don't you ever think that this is just some big gigantic joke and experiment on you?" And Desmond says, "Every single day." But Desmond has a point. I mean, if you didn't know, would you want to be responsible for destroying the world? Desmond says that another reason he continues to push the button is that the film talks about electromagnetic energy, and he talks about that wall that is lined with cement and how his feelings hurt every time he walks by it. Jack looks around and he sees the picture of Desmond and Penny that becomes so infamous later. Desmond thinks he's fixed the computer, but he ends up blowing a fuse. He says that's it, it's over, he packs up things, and he runs away. Jack goes to chase after Desmond because he needs some kind of closure. Locke is freaking out, going, "I don't want to be in this alone, don't leave me," but Jack says, "You are alone." And Locke just completely breaks down. This is not what he expected to happen. This was not the hope he was hoping for. He begins to yell and cry, "What am I supposed to do?" And this is our introduction to Season 2 Locke, which is not as cool as Season 1 Locke. Jack, man of science, confronts Desmond in the jungle saying, "Nothing is going to happen, why are you running away?" Desmond remembers where he knows Jack from. And Desmond in that moment asks about Sarah. I always thought that was kind of weird. Like, if you thought the world was going to end, why would you check up on someone you just randomly ran into one day? Kate has gone to get Saeed to fix the computer, and indeed he does. And Locke pushes in the numbers, but he has the last one wrong. But Jack comes back to tell him that it's 42, not 32. For us hardcores, that's really funny because I could say the number over and over in my sleep. And Jack is walking away, but then Locke says, "No, you have to do this. This is a two-person job. We have to be in this together." Again, playing with an idea that Jack and Locke need each other.
Why did you come back? Why do you find it so hard to believe?
Why do you find it so easy?
It's never been easy.
It's a leap of faith, Jack.
You must believe, boy.
After Jack pushed the button for the first time, I remember thinking to myself, we are not going to know what happens when you don't push the button until the season finale. But that's where we're going to leave it today, with Locke taking the first shift of pushing the button. Liz is back tomorrow talking about Everybody Hates Hugo. Liz, I'll see you then.
We're gonna need to watch that again.